Welcome to Animation Party. Today, we recap Dino King, Journey to Fire Mountain. Join Speckles on his quest to rescue Junior. Get ready for adventure. Let's go! A small tarbosaurus family lives in a valley surrounded by mountains. Jur is still a baby learning to hunt, but he is eventually pursued by his prey. The young dinosaur stumbles and falls to the ground while fleeing. That could have been the end of him if his father, Speckles, hadn't appeared to save him. After defeating the enemy, the creature gives his son a harsh lecture for fleeing and declares Junior to be the family's shame. Speckles wishes to groom his only son to be the future king of the lands he has conquered entirely on his own. They both set an ambush after spotting a group of protoceratops drinking water on the banks of a river. Junior positions himself to surround the hunt while Speckles chases it. When the protoceratops approaches, he becomes terrified and is thrown into the water. The little dinosaur, startled, cries out for help, and his father rushes to save him. However, as he moves deeper into the river, Speckles notices that the tide is low and that all Junior needs to do to avoid drowning is stand up. Speckles leaves, and the infant seeks refuge inside the trunk of a tree. Junior is embarrassed and disappointed that he cannot meet his father's expectations. He is crying as he recalls the day he lost his mother. When he was younger, he went swimming in the ocean and was swept away by the tide. Junior was washed out to sea and began to drown without realizing it, so his mother jumped in to save him. Fortunately, she was able to get her son to the beach safely, but she did not survive. Junior misses her every day since then, and Speckles misses her even more because he doesn't know how to raise his son alone. When the dinosaur goes to find his child, they see a meteor falling to Earth. Junior is terrified by the explosion, and Speckles says they'll need to find a new place to live soon. The terrified dinosaur expresses his desire to live there indefinitely, but his father assures him that if he does, he will be safe but will miss out on all of life's good things. Finally, Tarbosaurus declares that he will always be there to protect him, no matter what happens. The next morning, Junior gets up, determined to make his father proud, and peeks at a prey. Even as the animal drinks water, Junior attacks him, but the Pachycephalosaurus is quick enough to avoid him and run away. Then a group of raptors comes up to him and grabs him. Junior starts calling for his dad at that moment, so Speckles runs to help his son. When the raptors see that the big beast is coming, they run away with Junior. The Tarbosaurus is running after them, but the raptors are quicker and more agile, so they can move forward faster. Speckles is crossing a bridge when two of them come back and attack him. Speckles falls into the river. He passes out when he hits the water, but he wakes up quickly because he needs to save his son. But by the time Speckles gets to the bank of the river, Junior has already been taken by the raptors. The animal tries to find his son's scent in the enemy's footprints, but it starts to rain and Junior's tracks disappear. When the young Tarbosaurus wakes up, he is in a strange place with a lot of rocks around him. Inside the caves, he can see eyes that are filled with hate, and Junior can't hide his fear. All of a sudden, he is surrounded by dozens of cubs of different species, and Slash comes up to him to scare him even more. The creature attacks the newcomer with its claws, but Blue seems to stand up for him. She throws the Therizinosaurus away and tells him to leave the baby dinosaur alone. Blade then comes over and tells them to stop fighting. At that moment, the raptors show up, and the dinosaurs start to disappear. Blue tells Junior to hide, but all of the cubs are rounded up before they can get into the caves. Blade and Slash are the only ones who can hide. The three adults pick out a few babies to bring to dinner and tell them to follow them. As soon as the raptors leave, Blue tells them that no one who was taken has ever come back. Speckles, on the other hand, walks through the desert to find his son, but he gets too thirsty and passes out. Sai shows up at that moment, but he can't see very well. The Ankylosaurus is one of the dinosaurs with the best sense of smell. When the animal smells Speckles, it thinks it smells something familiar and thinks that Tarbosaurus is its enemy. Sai stumbles on the way to attack him and falls to the ground, unable to rise. He is surprised to discover that the large predator is not his foe, despite believing that this will be his demise. Speckles inquires as to the cause of the Ankylosaurus attack, and Sai responds that he kidnapped Daisy, her best friend. Sai first met her when they were both infants, and they remained inseparable until she was abducted by a group of raptors and he never saw her again. Now that Sai is in close proximity to Speckles, he realizes that despite the fact that he smells similar to the dinosaurs that abducted his friend, he was not part of the group that captured Daisy. The tarbosaurus realizes that PSI is referring to the same group of raptors that abducted his son and requests his assistance in locating them. Thus, the ankylosaurus will be able to exact revenge on his friend, who did not survive his first day in that terrible place. Junior searches for a hiding place, but no one is willing to accept him. He then discovers an uninhabited and filthy cavern. Dusty is the only resident, and he employs this survival strategy because the raptors would never hunt in such a filthy area. When Blue approaches, the tiny Triceratops takes cover. Junior responds that he is hiding until his father arrives to retrieve him. Speckles and Sai pass through a chasm en route to the Mountain of Fire. Suddenly, a giant scorpion attacks the ankylosaurus with its venomous tail. Due to its spiky armor, the animal does not sustain any damage, but Tarbosaurus is not so fortunate. He was almost across the chasm when he heard his new friend's cries and returned to save him. After killing one of the scorpions, they flee through the valley, where they are eventually surrounded. Speckles receives a sting to his leg while battling the enormous monsters, and despite his injury, he pursues his adversary. The creature manages to kill the scorpion by tearing off its legs with its powerful teeth. When they finally escape that location, Speckles falls to the ground. Due to the leg wound, he can barely walk. The poison spreads to other parts of his body with each passing minute, but the beast refuses to abandon his mission to rescue his son. PSI requests that his friend rest for a while, but he believes that this will only slow him down. Speckles faints after several more minutes of walking without water or food. At that instant, the sand begins to sink, and they fall into a hole. PSI passes out from the fall, and when he regains consciousness, he detects the scent of an approaching monster. This creature is making its way toward him, but Speckles speaks up to defend him. Fang asks the big guy why he attacked her after he gets knocked down during the fight. In order to save Speckles' life, she used medicinal herbs to counteract the poison. Fang planned to eat Sai because the animal was so frail. In spite of this, Fang decides to leave the ankylosaurus alone after Speckles insists on calling it a friend. She explains to him that she is looking for her daughter, who was abducted by a raptor 2 weeks ago. The raptors in the prison make sure the cubs are well fed until it is their turn to be devoured. Dusty, the skinniest of the bunch, has her food stolen by a pterosaur that visits the camp every day in search of a meal. The Triceratops, famished and exhausted, finally makes it back to her stinky cave, where she finds that her friend has brought food for them to share. Then Blue comes and they all eat next to a huge heap of garbage. Blue teaches her new friends how to use their tails as weapons after they've eaten. The first time around, Dusty fails miserably. Soon after, Junior gives it a go, but hurts himself when he slams his tail into a huge rock. One of the raptors suddenly materializes next to them, beckoning Dusty to follow. Although Blue tries to intervene, Blade is able to pull her away just in time. Given that there is currently no way to change the situation, Junior recalls the day he almost drowned and how his mother rescued him in his dreams that night. But in his dream, Dusty appears and begs for his assistance. Junior catches Disanga the day he tries to steal the food, and in exchange for information, he offers to give Disanga all of his food. The beast warns them that a mountain of fire lies hidden behind those rocks, and that a demonic beast has recently awakened within it. The beast may be trapped for the time being, but as the flames grow, so will its strength. Junior feels guilty for not having saved his friend, and he joins the others in devising an escape strategy. After being labeled a coward, Slash is afraid to face the raptors in order to escape and threatens to attack Junior. Blade manages to stop him and instructs him to leave the novice alone. After several hours of walking through the desert, the trio discovers a lake and is able to continue their journey with renewed strength. While drinking water, they observe a Brachiosaurus family being attacked. Numerous Carnotaurus are stealing their eggs. Hearing the cries of desperation from the mothers, Fang decides to assist and attacks the predators. After retrieving the egg, Speckles gives it back to the poor mother, who is extremely appreciative. The Carnotaurus then encircles Fang and knocks her to the ground, but Speckles arrives in time to save her friend and drive the dinosaurs away. Said joins the melee and employs his formidable tail to knock them out. The Carnotaurus decide to flee when they realize they are outnumbered, allowing the trio to contemplate the birth of the Brachiosaurus baby. Minutes later, they continue their journey while Junior formulates an escape strategy. He observes that there are always 3 guards blocking the exit, and Blade decides to share a foolproof strategy. They wait all night for a signal from Dasunga, who, after receiving his payment, informs them that one of the guards is sleeping. Junior is pursued after attracting the attention of the second guard. Before his friend is captured, Blue hits the raptor's head with a rock. The animal makes a feint. Next, Blade fires his second shot, and Junior acts as bait to attract the remaining guard. Blue misses this time, and his friend is about to be devoured. Blade, however, quickly ascends the mountains and kills the raptor. Minutes later, Blue catches up with them, and the 3 of them together escape the prison. They did not anticipate that 3 additional guards would be waiting outside. Slash betrayed them by revealing the infant's entire escape plan to his enemies. However, this is insufficient to deter them. Even though they are surrounded, the children continue to flee through the craters. Blade hides while his companions continue to flee as the raptors approach. Soon after, the 2 dinosaurs encounter a lava-filled dead end and are surrounded. Junior refuses to reveal his friend's location, despite the fact that his life is in danger, when one of the predators inquires about the 3rd fugitive. They have been banished to a prison and are next in line for supper. The following morning, Sai uses his sense of smell to determine that he is very close to the raptor's hiding place. The trio hears the plea for assistance from a pterosaur that was being punished for assisting the cubs in escaping. PSI uses his body as bait to get them to come closer, and Dasunga uses this to get away. The predators chase after the Ankylosaurus and get close to it, but the tarbosaurs show up when they least expect it and catch a raptor. Speckles finds out where the prison is after questioning him and lets Sai decide what will happen to the animal. Finally, the Ankylosaurus is able to get revenge for his friend Daisy by pushing the raptor off the edge of the cliff with his tail. As the trio moves further down the canyon, the volcano's tremors get stronger. They try to get around the stones, but they can't. Fang and Speckle try to move the rocks, but nothing happens. Then, all of a sudden, a group of Brachiosaurus walk up and use their huge paws to smash the rocks, making a way through. This is just a way for them to say thanks for helping them save their eggs a few days ago. Now, they have to get rid of the dozens of raptors that are waiting on the other side. The tarbosaurus grabs its enemies by the neck with its sharp teeth and throws them away, while Sai uses his tail to attack the raptors. When Blade sees that there are no guards at the exit, he runs to the prison to tell the other dinosaurs and then goes to save his friends. As the young dinosaurs run away, the earthquake opens up the rocks, leaving many behind. Fang and Speckles call out for their son, but they are going in a different direction. The plan is to get away by crossing the river and going into the cave to find Dusty. But Slash gets there first and catches up with them. Blade tells his friends to keep going and says he will catch up with them soon. He didn't think that Slash would come with 2 raptors though. Blade is able to knock out one of the enemies, who then tries to hold on by cutting his tail. So they both fall into the lava pool, and the traitor holds onto a rock with his claws. Only one raptor is left. The animal is able to stop Blade from moving and wants to eat him, but Blue and Junior come back to help their friend. They attack the predator and manage to bring it down, but the animal holds on to the tail of its partner. Slash can't hold all that weight, so his claw comes loose from the rock and everyone falls into the lava. Now that they know where to go, they continue on their way to the river. Speckles sees them in the ashes and tells his friends to follow them. Junior is paralyzed when he faces the current, but he remembers what his father said and decides he will no longer be a coward. Even though they are scared, they jump into the water and swim under the rock to get to the cave. Blue loses her breath and can't swim when she's underwater, so Junior has to help her. Working together, the 3 reach their goal and head toward the light. Then, all of a sudden, they see dinosaur bones all over the ground and hear something coming toward them. The kids are glad to see that it's Dusty, who has been hiding all this time and has thus been able to stay alive. Then, 3 big monsters come into the room. Dusty tells them that those are the babies who were born from mutants. The big tadpoles start to chase after the young, but just in time, their parents come to save them. Blue is very happy to see her mother, and Speckles watches as Junior runs away from the monster. The tarbosaurus runs toward the animal to attack it, and then he gives his son a speech. He said that Junior shouldn't run away, but should face those monsters. When Junior hears this, he leaves because he can't take hearing his father call him a coward anymore. Then Blue goes up to Speckles and tells him that Junior went there to save Dusty and shouldn't be called a coward. Then, a big monster comes up behind the small group and starts to chase them. PSI was left behind, but he quickly finds his friends and has to run away with them to get away from the beast. They hide in a crack, but Speckles wants to come out and look for his son. Fang and Sai try to stop him, and Dusty figures out that the monster is going to leave. Speckles then comes out of hiding and sees Junior trying to distract the creature so that his father and his friends can get away quickly. Tarbosaurus runs after him to help, and Fang follows. Sai's job is to get the babies to safety, but they decide to help a friend instead. Speckles and Fang attack the monster, and Junior has to get away from Speckles and Fang. Blue and Blade come to save him at this point. They throw rocks at the baby monsters to kill them. When the three kids see their parents being killed, they work together to get the mutants' attention and are then chased. The mountain starts to fall apart because of an earthquake, and the monster is buried under rocks. During his last attack, the beast throws Junior away, and Junior hits a rock and falls to the ground. When Speckles sees that his son is unconscious, he becomes desperate. He tries to wake him up, but soon starts to think that the young dinosaur is dead. Tarbosaurus asks his son to wake up and asks for forgiveness for being so hard on him. The volcano's lava is moving toward the dinosaurs, and they have nowhere else to go. Junior's friends come up to him and try to get him to wake up. Dusty then realizes he's still breathing. When Junior wakes up, his father tells him how proud he is of him for being brave. Now everyone can leave that place, but they soon find out that the way out has been blocked by rocks. Working together, the group tries to break down the wall, but fails. To make things even worse, the monster gets up and lava covers its body. Speckles has an idea when he sees the demon coming and tells everyone to stay away. The animal uses its own body as bait to lure the mutant, and just as the mutant is about to eat it, the animal jumps away. By doing this, the creature makes a hole in the stone wall that everyone can use to get out. When they are all safe and away from the volcano a few minutes later, they can breathe a sigh of relief. At that moment, Sai says goodbye to his friends and heads back to his people. Speckles then thanks him for helping him find his son and tells him that he couldn't have done it without him. The babies are finally free to run around the lawn and check out every part of their new home. That's it for today's recap of Dino King: Journey to Fire Mountain. I hope you enjoyed this thrilling adventure with Speckles and Junior. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Animation Party, for more movie recaps and animations. See you next time for another exciting adventure. Bye for now.